fresh milk from farmers, they need to have some kind of proper arrangement, especially with respect to the transportation. But here what happens? Poor route planning. Maybe they don't have a better route plan to collect the fresh milk from different locations, right? Maybe vehicle deployment problems are there, right? Maybe the distance, you are not optimizing the distance. You are traveling here and there, it's increased the fuel cost, right? It's based. And temperature control failures in milk tankers. You have to mainly focus on the technological part here as well. You have to maintain relevant technology, sorry, temperature, maybe -1, some, right? So then you can use for this, you can use the thermal tanks or something, right? And irregular delivery timing, frequency disrupt production schedule. So delivery timing should be fixed. Maybe you can deliver that fresh milk to production plant in morning, one first time, and the second delivery time maybe in the afternoon, right? Morning and afternoon. But it should be fixed time frames, maybe morning at 6 a.m. to 7 a.m., afternoon at 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. It's likewise. But if it's irregular, you cannot do the production. To directly affect production, right? And chilled warehouses at their main production facility are reaching capacity limits because you need to have a chilled warehouses. Otherwise, you cannot store the product, causing stock imbalance, expired inventory, and high wastage. Right? Because for this operation, you need to have a properly maintained and with higher capacity chilled warehouses. If its warehouse is out of capacity, how you can store your product? Right? You need to have some kind of facility, right? Outbound transport to regional distribution centers in Colombo, Kandy, Galle, and Jaffna is costly and lacks real-time visibility due to manual documentation and absence of proper tracking systems. Outbound transportation means you are producing, now you have a product, that means the 1 liter milk packs, this one, fresh milk packet, you have to distribute those to the customers. That defines as an outbound transport. How you do that? From your manufacturing facility, it connects with the distribution centers. The same thing happens in other companies now. From the manufacturing facility, they are sending that product to the distribution centers. From distribution centers, they are distributing to the customers and retailers and everyone. So they have distribution centers in Colombo, Kandy, Galle, Jaffna, right? But the problem is, it's very costly with this operation and lacks real-time visibility due to manual documentation. This is a problem, manual documentation. But you need to have some kind of online system. And absence of proper tracking system. They are not using the tracking system because outbound transportation, you are using vehicles. So you need to track their movement, right? Otherwise, how you calculate your cost? How you calculate their operational efficiency? So every time if you check with the Uber, they also have this tracking system because they need to identify that where their vehicles. Effectively, they can use them, right? If they track only effectively, they can use the vehicles. Otherwise, they will go here and there. They will not do the things effective way, right? At the international level, Lanka Dairy has started exporting UHT milk to Maldives and UAE, but face multiple bottlenecks. Now they are exporting international level, right? Export shipments through the port of Colombo often get delayed because of documentation is incomplete or not aligning with the customs requirement, as I mentioned. Why delay? Because of some kind of documentation issues, right? The company struggled to select the correct Incoterms, leading to unexpected freight, insurance, and handling charges. Again, be careful with the Incoterm selection. They have failed to do that part as well. Understand the roles of international terminal, port, air cargo, and transshipment hubs remains a challenge for logistics team. Right? They have to identify to which port we are sending this cargo. Right? So otherwise, it will increase the cost. Moreover, negotiating and managing cross-border payment methods, LC, letter of credit, right? DADT, TT has become difficult, affecting cash flow and risk exposure, right? because you need to have a payment method. You need to select the correct payment method for this. Most probably LC is okay, right? And senior management believes these issues arise from lack of specialized logistics expert and has hired you. Now they are hiring you as a logistics specialist here, an external logistics consultant to assess their logistics and supply chain operation, recommend actionable improvements, right? Based on the operation scenario of Lanka Dairy Products, prepare a comprehensive report written from the perspective of external logistics consultant to be submitted to senior management, addressing all the specified questions areas. Right? I have given the question areas. Describe the full supply chain of the product, Lanka Dairy Fish Milk 1 liter. Identify key stakeholders, illustrate material, information, and financial flows. Right? Keep in mind that in this report, I'm not expecting the 100%, but I called 100% report, right? I can say that I'm not expecting 100% report because I know that you work, some of you are work for the logistics industry, but you're covering some parts, but majority of you are not directly linked with the logistics industry. Some of you may work for the procurement, some of you work for some kind of, that warehousing or freight movements or some different areas, right? In that case, I'm not expecting the 100% answer for this, but just try to do whatever you can, right? So it's very important to mention that part, right? But whatever you are present in the way that you have some kind of idea about this question or this scenario given to you, right? In this case, how you do that, describe the full supply chain of the product. So I explained you what we call a supply chain is from the origin to the end point. That means how this supply chain originate from the milk collection, right? From the milk collection to until you are supplying that particular 1 liter product to your supplier, there is a process, right? Milk collection, and you are collecting milk and you are transporting that milk to the manufacturing facility, and from manufacturing facility you are transporting to the distribution facilities located in different location mentioned here, and from the distribution locations you are transferring to the final end customers or consumers. This is the process. You have to highlight that process, right? And
Excuse me, sir.
yeah,
Can you please explain a little bit about that? It's mentioned like financial flow, right? In the
yeah,
first, yeah.
correct. Financial flow means just highlight the flow from which party to which party you are paying. Just enough, right? For an example, milk farmers, collector is there. Then collector is paying to the farmer, right? Just a flow, right? And information so clear, no? Each and every party you should share the information. Each and everyone you should share the information between, right? And another financial flow is you are exporting that product to the foreigners. So how you handle the financial flow is through the letter of credit. You can open the letter of credit. You can do the payment through that. Your buyer will pay through the LC. You got it?
Yeah, noted. Thanks.
That's what I mentioned, right? I'm not expecting 100%, but I'm expecting what you try to do here, right? In practical way, right? Of course, I know that you don't know everything here, right? But I just need to search something mentioned here through some kind of platform, right? Of course, I know that even chat GDP available, but don't copy and paste from the chat GDP, right? So you can get the support from those platforms, but have some kind of idea what you are doing, right? Explain the role of logistics in dairy supply chain and analyze inbound, internal, and outbound logistics activities, right? It's very easy, right? Explain the logistics in the dairy supply chain. Now you know what means the logistics, transportation and warehousing especially. So what is the role of you are doing here? Transportation arrangement. A lot of things mentioned here regarding the transportation. And even the warehousing, right? You can see the warehouse, chilled warehouses they are using. What is the problem with that? Right? You need to have a better transportation because you are transporting this perishable type product. Right? So trucks should be in specific form, thermal trucks, right? Temperature control trucks, the buses. And even the warehouse should be thermal control. You have to maintain that exact temperature, right? And identify issues in transport planning, cold chain handling, and the coordinate with terminals. Identify some issues mentioned here. So try to give some kind of solution for that, right? Evaluate the company's warehouse operation, chilled storage management, inventory levels, and stock management challenges. You can see that in the warehouse operation also, they have some kind of issues with what I call the space issue is there, right? So how you can give some kind of, maybe you can suggest to add new warehouses, or sometimes you can expand the what I call the area of that particular warehouse. Sometimes you can outsource warehouses from third parties. In that way, you can improve the warehousing complex. Just give some kind of simple what I call solutions. Assist the company international logistics operations, including globalization impact, use of port and air cargo terminals, Incoterms, cross-border documentation, and method of payment, right? Recommend suitable options, right? Just focus on their international operation to where they are exporting, right? To that, what type of things affect in this international level operation? Maybe Incoterms, you can see Incoterms, maybe port operations, documentation part. Maybe you can suggest to implement some kind of the online method, and what type of Incoterms you can use, what type of ports you can use. Maybe you are exporting to the UAE, United Arab Emirates. So what port you are exporting, you can decide that. You can search for the main ports in the UAE, and you can say that through this port we can export. It's like that, right? And present key findings based on analysis. These are findings. Just present the key findings only, right? Through analysis. And if you can use the qualitative and quantitative methods, both, it's very good. But either you can use the qualitative or you can use the quantitative. I'm okay with that. Sometimes you may don't have the quantitative, that means stat data. Just use the qualitative way, right? And provide
So,
reasonable. Yeah.
so now we are living and I'm staying in Qatar. So is it possible for me to, I don't know how I can do a qualitative or quantitative research.
No, that's why I mentioned. If you have, let's say that if you try to do the quantitative way, quantitative research, quantitative analysis, you can use some kind of imaginary data.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah. For an example, past sales. You can use that data, right? And the transportation related data. How many units you are producing, and how many units you have to transport to your distribution centers. So then how many trucks you can use. In that way, you
Yeah,
can develop some scenario. You got it. Some kind of
we can
some
we can have
scenario.
hypothetical situations, right?
Exactly.
Hypothetical.
Just try to be innovative. That's why I accepted. Yeah.
Understood, sir.
Innovative වෙන්න බලන්න. ඒක lazy. ඒක okay නම් කරන්න. You are familiar with that. But if you're not, I'm okay with the quantitative analysis as well. But it's preferred to have some kind of quantitative, at least the minor part. Right? Provides actionable recommendations to improve domestic and international logistic performance, right? Actionable recommendation to improve. What sort of recommendation you can give to improve the domestic and international level performance, logistic performance, right? And then summarize the implication of your findings for Lanka Dairy overall logistics strategy and future. Just give a summary, right? This is right. By looking at this, you can say that it's comprehensive, but not. ගොඩක් අමාරු දෙයක් නෙමෙයි මේක. අර දැනට කරලා තියෙන ටිකෙන් යන සහ ඔයාලා තව add කරගන්න මේක. You can add more points from the, you can have plenty of resources, no? Right? At some points, even sometimes you can get, as I said, get some kind of AI support. एक अतर प्रश्नයක් නෑ, but with understanding, right? With understanding, you have to do that. And especially if you have any crucial problems, you can just drop me a message, right? I will give you a number anyway, right? I will give you a number. Just drop me a message. This is my number, right? Just drop me a message, and I can even sometimes I can help with that. Right? And I will try to extend the deadline if possible. But for now, keep the deadline, right? So
Yeah, if you
try to,
can please ask them to extend. That's
yes, I'll try. I will try and try to do some tasks. But as I said, don't worry. I will not expect that what I call the 100% document, right? I know that this area is new to you, Just try to do what you understand. That's enough.
So
Got it?
here on first 10 second page, the second item, body of report.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This one.
So which page is? So just go to first page, very first one.
Yeah, this I have actually drafted one. This is not the formatted one with the university. The pages can be different because of that. This one, right? You're saying the format?
Yeah. Then here that after table format of the mini project, then develop contents. After that, introduction 1 to arrive. Here the document which we got, they have again mentioned a body of report. This section must include a brief introduction. But that first one also.
Yeah, this two, right? I just mentioned that. Here, the brief introduction means just couple of sentences enough here. Now, you are providing the introduction here, but it's not mandatory to include the introduction again. It's okay. It's okay. No problem. No problem with that. Just mention the method, what you are going to do. Right? You are referring to this part.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's okay.
Look like repeated.
Yeah. It's actually university guideline. I think you have a guideline in your report. The same thing I put here, right? So it's published by the university. And just go through this, and especially be careful with the referencing, right? Referencing, I think very strict on referencing. Right? Try to use some references, at least 10 references from the research. Right? So some reading materials, it's good. Right? For this subject, you have a paper. You have paper, right? I'm saying this, right? Yeah, it's not easy with the government universities. It's not like in private universities, but it's very strict, but the value is high. The value is high. Yeah, I'm checking. Don't worry about that. Okay. No further questions? While you are doing, if you have any question, I just put my number, right? So just drop me a message and I will try to help. Any questions before finish the lecture?
Yes, sir. Could you please do a small favor? That you have shared that tax calculation spreadsheet.
Yeah.
Could you please share with us
Which one?
that tax calculator Excel sheet?
Correct. Wait, I just I can yeah, this one. This one, yes. Yeah. Yes, most probably. I will arrange a, if I don't have time, I will arrange separate session, right? Just 1.5 hour session, like I did for the last batch. Because the entire session is not covered by me, but I will just go through what we will focus in the exam. Right? I think assignment will responsible accountable for 40%. 40%. Now, if you go through the assignment, it will be no big issue with this exam. For the exam also, I'll put a couple of questions from my part. Right? Okay. I shared that in chat books, right? Okay then.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much.
Stop here and good night to you. Right? See you.
Yeah, good night. Good night, sir. Thank you very
Good
much.
night. Thank you.
Good night, sir.
That's you.
Thank you.
Nice.